The Monday Morning Marketing Podcast is brought to you by Esther of IPA Group, bringing premier online promotion to your business.
And Melanie of Stomp Social Media Training, who empowers business owners to manage social media and marketing for themselves.
Welcome back to another episode of the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast. We're here today talking about every business has its season. Now, what do we mean by that?
Well, this came about from a blog that I wrote recently, and it's basically understanding how content can be created to help each business go through its seasons. So seasons obviously aren't just, summer, winter, so on and so forth. But seasons are the ups and downs of your business. It's when you're likely to earn more or less in that time frame. So, and there's other things, especially like currently right now at the time of recording, we're going through a crisis again.
Another one?
Those, don't we? Yeah, another one. And so supply chains, financial issues, and obviously a couple of years ago we had pandemics. So there's always something that's going to have an impact. But there's two ways that we can look at seasons. We can look at them predictively, which is ahead, and then we can look behind us as well and sort of learn from what's happened in the past. But it really depends on where you are as a business, whether you're a startup or whether you're a scale up.
Okay, so let's say we're a startup and first year in business. How could we predict some of the peaks and troughs for this first year? I mean, I don't even remember what percentage of startups fail within the first 5 years. Not to scare you guys, but it does seem to be an awful lot. Do you think that if the peaks and troughs could be better managed, that small businesses would survive for longer and get through that tough first period?
Well, there's only so much that we can predict by ourselves. And that's why courses, and it's in every country that you're listening to, there'll be start your own business courses where they'll give you some guidance on how to manage certain elements. But the seasons of your business are very dependent on the type of business that you're running. So let's say you've got a shoe shop. Okay, so people buy shoes year round. And most shoe shops will offer a range of different types of shoes, so children's, men's, and women's.
Mm-hmm.
So for the children's, it would make sense that shoe shops, when they're creating content or looking at the seasons of their business, will be understanding that there'll be a greater amount of shoes sold just before the kids start back in the new year and after the summer holidays. Especially after the summer holidays. For some reason, children are like flowers and they tend to grow faster during the summer.
It's the sunshine.
It must be. And then there's also the understanding that men's shoes tend to be replaced less often. But when they are replaced, it tends to be autumn. And believe it or not, the reason why is because if they've got holes in their shoes, that's the time that they decide to change them because it's cold and wet.
Unless you live in Ireland and it's cold and wet all year round.
Well, yes. But then women tend to change their shoes slightly more seasonally. So open-toed or sandals for the summer and then closed warmer shoes during the winter. And this is something that they can predict. This is something that they can make the time for. So let's think of a service then. So let's think of solicitors. Okay, so because that was a product. So let's think of what solicitors. So you need a solicitor year round. Yeah?
Let's hope not.
Okay, but so now there's very different types of solicitors, but most of them won't do just one thing because, again, of the seasonality. Yeah. So let's say you have a solicitor or a group of solicitors who offer house sales, help with house sales. Most house sales happen in spring. And the largest amount of application for divorce is beginning January. I wonder why. And the largest amount of natural deaths happen in the winter. So, if you're, doing selling off a house or reading wills, or that sort of stuff, that tends to be in the winter. So a lot of it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So you can predict when you understand, when you've done your customer avatar,
Yes. Yes.
you can understand the highs and lows, the dips and surges in your business, and you can predict. And as a startup, you've got those options.
Yeah. So you should look at your competitors and
Yeah.
look and see what they're promoting, what they're advertising right now. Like you were saying, about the shoe shops, the same would be for clothes shops. You wouldn't be
Mm,
selling little summer dresses in the middle of December unless you live in a warmer climate.
mm.
But you can sort of predict what people are going to buy and when. If you provide for the wedding industry, then a lot more weddings take place in the spring and summer because it's the warmer months. Tones and colors, all those things would change with each season.
Yeah.
But what about like a service like you and I? When do more people go looking for website designs? When do more people go looking for help with their social media? There's
Yeah. So we're slightly more niche, I suppose. But people need training, people need websites year round, but
Mhm.
company budgets, especially we're talking for larger companies, they will. So here in Ireland, we have to respect that other countries will have different budget times, but here in Ireland it's January to December. So something I've noticed, and you probably have as well, is there's one or two things that happen in December. In December, you'll either get a huge amount of people contacting you in one go to try and spend their budget
Yeah.
because they haven't spent it before the end of the year, or they've
You get
spent the
zero.
lot by November and it's completely dead.
By November, you're lucky. Most of the time, it's by March.
Jeez. So I've had kind of weird years actually, where some November and December I've been basically, there's been crickets bouncing around my office, and other times I lost my voice. Do you remember last year I
Mhm.
lost my voice
Yeah.
because I was speaking so much?
Yeah.
Um,
It's the same too in the
so
summer. A lot of businesses will go quieter over the summer months
yes,
because unless you're, in the travel industry or providing entertainment for
weddings.
kids, weddings and stuff, then the summer months are when most people will take a break, they'll take a step back and
Hmm.
not be spending the money and on other products and services. But that's not always the case either. I mean, during the COVID years, we were busy year, 24/7.
Hmm.
So yes, you can predict, but at the same time you can't. Is that what we're saying?
Well, this is why it's supposed to be a guide.
Mhm.
It's when people approach both of us about what should we put up on our website, what do people want to know, how often should we blog, what should we put up on our social media, and all they think of all the time is sales.
Mhm.
And whether you're talking about social media or traditional media, people tend to use the media rather than the social.
Yes.
They put the emphasis on the wrong part. And the
Yeah.
reasons why it's called social media is because you're meant to be social on it first.
Mhm. Fully
So,
agree.
yeah, completely. So, you know, there is an awful lot of things that you can create content about if you thought beyond yourself.
Yes.
Uh,
And it comes back down, like we were talking in a previous episode about the art of storytelling that has
Amen to that.
disappeared. So
Mm,
tell a story. Tell your story as to why you chose to sell what you sell. Why people should go to you for the service or the product rather than somebody else. Listen to your audience, listen to their needs, and meet them where they're at. Yes, there will be some shoe shops that sell sandals and open-toed shoes in winter because people will be looking to escape colder weather and go on a summer retreat. But the majority of people will be buying their winter boots.
Exactly.
So yes, you can have a section that caters to year round, but have the bulk of the, listen to the people around you. Like Melanie was saying too, look at previous year's sales and see what more people were looking for, because more than likely they will repeat the cycle. They will come back for their next pair of shoes or their next tiara for their wedding to you.
And content just doesn't just stop at one platform either. So if you're creating something for Facebook, like a post, can that post be something that you go live on YouTube Shorts, and then could you make it a podcast topic when you're speaking to somebody else? And could you arrange to be a guest or run your own webinar, or even do email campaigns from this? I mean, there's so many different ways that you can reach your audience talking about one topic, if you just diversify and look at them objectively.
Yeah, absolutely. And because your business goes through these different seasons, that content can be repurposed for the next year and reused without having to change much.
And so if it's evergreen, absolutely.
Mhm.
And yeah, if you're going to go to that much trouble to create a webinar or do a blog, and sometimes can take hours, days even, then don't just share it once.
Yeah.
Or do it once.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
Exactly. All very good points and all very useful information, as always. If you have any questions about your business and how you can get it to be more peaks rather than troughs year round, do get in touch with Melanie. She knows a lot about this stuff and she will be happy to help you with this. Won't you, Melanie?
I will.
You see?
So check out my website at stomp.ie.
That's right. It's very easy to remember as well. So that's it for today, guys. We'll be back next week with more Monday Morning Marketing. Until then, bye-bye.